do you have the money in your office budget to be able to get a vehicle from the motor pool?
So I have requested, Supervisor Burley, I've requested the mileage and then how much that would cost from my budget. I haven't received a accurate number or full number of how much I would need to pay from my budget if this were to happen today. We do budget to do motor pool rentals and mileage reimbursement, but I don't have a full figure of what I would need to pay in regards to getting a vehicle from fleet.
What is your mileage reimbursement rate? I forget.
So 70 cents a mile.
70 cents a mile. Oh my gosh, I was only getting 50 cents a mile. Oh my gosh, I was only getting 50 cents a mile. Oh my gosh, I was only getting 50 cents a mile. As a state. 70 cents a mile. Now, how many times have you had to restrict yourself on going out doing your duties to try to keep the cost down?
Multiple times. I attend all my meetings virtually. Typically, I'm the Arizona Recorder Association president. I don't attend any in-person meetings. I also am on the board of directors for ACO, and I'm not attending any personal in-person meetings due to mileage.
Thank you. Thank you.
Supervisor Gould.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I need a point of clarification here. The item says for the county treasurer and the county recorder. So are these for those two individuals, or is it for their offices?
My intent was for the two elected officials. My intent was for the two elected officials.
Why is Borelli so dead set on wasting taxpayers' money? He also wants an exorbitant amount of money for a special office that taxpayers are going to have to suck up. Have you taken a look at the invoice from outrageous expenses from Borelli's bookcase file cabinet and under-desk file cabinet? Supervisor should scrap this plan now. If Supervisor Sonny Borelli needs office space, the county already owns property that can be used. The library has room. The sheriff's department does too, and the old substation sits empty. Rent is also an option. There's plenty available around town. Plans are laid last year to use a portion of the Mohave County Senior Center, and Havasu has office space for District 3 Supervisor Sonny Borelli. Although the cost would have been less than $100,000, the proposed project was rescinded after outcry from local retirees. Now, $600,000 has been allocated, and next year's county budget, to design and construct new office space for the supervisor in Lake Havasu City. What is this guy, this person who has abused women, doing? Crying about how he was only getting 50 cents, but prior to his sitting on his throne, while he was still a so-called senator, he voted to up the pay for the supervisors because he knew he was going to be sitting there. And now his intent is to have taxpayers fit the bill of SueAnn Mello and Lydia Durst. Well, how come he doesn't pay out of his own pocket then?
Since these are for the two elected officials, you still have to amend the policy that states who has the perk of a car. That is spelled out in county ordinance. So you need to take a look at that, and also whether they have the authority to take these cars home, which is spelled out in the ordinance also.
Good point. Understood. That's why I'd like to have this discussion.
Have a point.
Supervisor Lettman.
I agree with Supervisor Gould on that. The way I'd like to see us move on this is if the two elected officials want cars, I think we should put that as an agenda item and allow them to justify the need to be added to the list of approved drivers.
Well, I'm just going to tell you what my concerns were. First of all, I used my own vehicle because I had campaign funds left over, and I utilized those, saving the county money.
Saying that.
So did you catch what SueAnn Mello said about using her campaign funds? Ron Gould actually stopped SueAnn Mello from going any further with admitting to the public that she mismanaged her campaign funds. There's a difference between business and campaign expenses. You are not supposed to mix the funds together. Did SueAnn Mello sneak up to another supervisor, Rich Lettman, at a political gathering, begging him to talk to Borelli about giving her a car? Was she overheard making the statement, "I really need a car," to Rich Lettman? So who really put SueAnn Mello and Lydia Durst up to expecting taxpayers to fit the bill for a new car for them both. Again, SueAnn Mello stupidly claims that she's mismanaging campaign funds. By the way, didn't Lydia Durst just get married? So why does she expect the county taxpayers to pay for a brand new car for her and husband? She's from a two-income family and her husband can't get her a car. She can't afford to pay her own way in life with the exorbitant amount of money she's already grabbing.
When I ran out of that opportunity, I did go to Fleet, and I discussed this with Manager Elters. All that they offered me was a van or a truck. All that they offered me was a van or a truck. All that they offered me was a van or a truck. So, you know, you're traveling to Colorado City in a van on a freeway. I'm already, you know, struggling with that. I don't have experience with a van. I don't have experience with a van. I don't have experience with a van.
Why is SueAnn Mello speaking as if she is entitled?
3 times it kind of got rough for me at Fleet because I kept requesting a smaller car and they said, that's all we have. That's all we have. That's all we have. So, like I said, discussed it with Manager Elters. That's not an option for me. That's not an option for me. That's not an option for me. So again, I'm back at using my personal vehicle and claiming mileage. Another thing that we do, the assessor and the recorder and I, we ride together. We often, you know, share just to keep our own personal vehicles as well, just to keep the costs down.
SueAnn Mello claims that she, Lydia, and Jean Kench always travel together to save the county money. In fact, it has been confirmed that the county assessor, Jeannie Kench, has a county vehicle that she uses for her personal use and has been exposed for defrauding the county and mismanaging the taxpayers' money. So if SueAnn claims that she and Lydia Durst always ride with Kench and that Travis Lingenfelter is the fourth wheel,
even Chairman Lingenfelter was there as well, because that's part of his district.
Sure.
Then why is she making demands upon the taxpayers to provide her a brand new car? Are they all collecting 70 cents per mile even though they all ride in one car? And why is SueAnn Mello speaking as if she is entitled? Can you even believe her tone of voice sounding as if the taxpayers owe her something? And the frown at the suggestion that she get a used car? Oh no, we can't have that for Queen Bee SueAnn. In fact, that was a pretty stupid statement on her part because it exposes her as an individual who literally thinks she is entitled. And then having the audacity to go up to the Board of Supervisors and practically demand that the supervisors give her a car, when in reality, it is the taxpayers that are going to be paying for that car. And we have Sonny Borelli with his own demands of a reported $600,000 office that he claims he needs because he claims he is going to be evicted. And the only two with any common sense up on that board are Ron Gould and Rich Letman. Borelli and Lingenfelter behave in such mannerism that they are in no way looking after their own constituents, because they are more concerned with depleting the county's resources for some woman who's already making $83,800 annually. And she wants more. The audacity and nerve.
I certainly am not trying to do anything underhanded. I just want what's fair. Just want what's fair. Just want what's fair. You're supervisors of a district, and the three of us, you know, our district is the entire county, and I certainly would be able to service it better if I had a vehicle to use, and I would appreciate it.
What are your opinion on this, on what's on the agenda right now? I don't know what the mileage would be. I know that some cars can still operate safely at high mileage. I'm not disputing that. But would you feel comfortable in being in a vehicle? Let's say you have to go somewhere and there's a really remote stretch in between point A and point B. Are you going to feel comfortable with going into a vehicle that's 120,000 miles or more?
Well, it wouldn't be the best situation, but it wouldn't be the best situation,
Admitting that she is already happily driving around in a county car with the crooked assessor and the recorder like the three amigos, or more like the Three Stooges, should have sealed the deal with the supervisors by denying her demands. These county employees need to quit sponging off of the taxpayers and grabbing whatever they can, and the supervisors need to protect the taxpayers. Shame on the supervisors who do not have the county's best interest at hand, but instead grovel at a high-handed, imperious person at the taxpayers' expense, as if they are paying out of their own pockets. Lydia Durst makes claims that her car is worn out too? Well, whoop-dee-dee. So are many others in the county. Shall we all go to Lingenfelter and Borelli the wife-beater and beg too? This is how utterly pathetic these people are. And did you hear SueAnn Mello mention that she demands everything to be fair, acting as if she's some kind of red-headed stepchild who's been wronged? So, because Jean Kench has a county vehicle and she's defrauding the county, now Mello and Durst want one too at taxpayers' expense. So, here's another question. If they're all driving there together in one car, are they all each claiming the 70 cents per mile? Because there is a lot of fraud going on in the county, especially with Jean Kench. But why do they need a car if they always go together? They can either drive their own vehicle, collect 70 cents a mile, or get a county carpool vehicle in and use it, and they don't collect anything for how much money they make off of taxpayers. SueAnn says that her car has 40,000 miles on it and is a lemon, so she thinks she can come up to the podium with her Marlo Thomas that girl hairdo and bark orders at the supervisors. How greedy and obnoxious can one be? How much money do they collect off of taxpayers for driving around? They can't afford to buy themselves a car? SueAnn needs to go grab another job instead of making a fool out of herself and expecting taxpayers to carry her around. She expects the taxpayers to fit her bills, and that is just not acceptable. Where in the employee handbook does it say all county employees receive cars at taxpayers' expense? Lydia Durst pointed that out herself, and still expects a free ride? She has a husband, so he needs to man up and grab some wheels for her.
That I would have it checked out prior to going and, go from there. Just this last trip that I just came from for 4th of July to Colorado City, I used my personal vehicle and it had a problem and it's only got 40,000 miles on it, so where I had to stop and get repaired. So that's kind of a funny question. I certainly would appreciate the vehicle. I would get it checked out before we went. If that's the best we can do, that's the best we can do. I just wanted to let you know that the numbers that Luke didn't even give numbers for me because they're so low, but they weren't recorded because of all those reasons. I used my personal vehicle. I didn't ask for mileage reimbursement, and I
really just robbing Peter to pay Paul. Really just robbing Peter to pay Paul. Really just robbing Peter to pay Paul. Other departments are getting more funding from other departments for their services. And truly it all just comes from general fund, from our taxpayers, from our taxpayers, from our taxpayers. Not here to always say I would just like it to be fair,
just want what's fair.
But I think as all of us are elected officials, we can all respect each other.
Just want what's fair.
But to have fairness across the board of what every elected official is receiving.
Too bad Durst and Mello didn't get their story straight before trying to make the supervisors fall for all the fallacies, trying to dump some kind of poor me attitude all over the public. But in the end, it is the taxpayers who will be paying the bill. Spending frivolously needs to stop. SueAnn Mello might think she's royalty, but she's just another welfare recipient begging for a free ride, literally.